Mark's Woodshop 101.
Well, hi there. Welcome to Mark's Woodshop. This is the Woodshop, and I'm Marky Mark.
And I'm Amber.
And we have a little update on the barn door. This morning. I've got the frame glued up except for the end rails so we can slide the panels in. So the panels are still in sections about 20 inches or so, and I've cut out some warp out of a couple of them, and so they fit. So I'm just kind of going over the seams because I really haven't done anything to these since I've glued them up. So I'm just evening the seams out, getting the glue out, and knocking down the high spots. And once I do that, we'll glue these 4 pieces up to make either the top or bottom panel, depending on which way the door hangs. I'm going to plane these seams to where they're nice and even. There's some spots where if you can feel them, they're not even. So one of the little tricks is pencil lines. When as you work it, one pencil line will disappear, and then when the other one starts to disappear, you know you're even.
I have a question for you.
Yes?
Why don't you use the planer or the sander on this and you're using the hand tool, other than wanting to and like to?
Actually, it's a matter of procedure. Initially, each of the boards, and before they got glued up, when they came right from the lumber yard, were run through the planer for initial thickness and knock off the milling marks and such. So that's been done. And immediately after that, I ran them through the sander just to kind of tweak the thickness. And actually I ran them through with twice, one rough and one fine, to give it actually a rough sanding in the drum sander, no matter how fine a paper you use, because it'll leave scoring marks. So
now that was something I learned, that the sander will leave a common pattern that your eye can pick up, whereas the orbital will do a random pattern so that your eye doesn't focus on one furrow. Well,
let me get to that. Yet to do, when you glue them up, your seams are not quite even, which is what I'm taking care of now. I'm trying to even the seams up on the panels that are glued up, and I'll have to do it again after we glue them up. But then there's still sanding to do. So there's the orbital sander, which takes off more material, and also the finish sanding, which will be, and here I have those handy. Random orbital. This takes off. This is more aggressive, so this will take off any minor high spots that I miss with the planer. The planer does kind of, you know, it removes more material. This will remove a little bit less material, kind of fine-tuning it, and then finally a finish sanding, which will give us a nice smooth surface over the whole panel. The information was not relayed to me that the face frames, the rails and stiles, were going to be on both sides of the door. Well, with them only on one side, that kind of makes it tough. It was going to be one, the panel part was going to be one huge panel, and I had some ideas on how to keep that from warping. I was going to put a spline down the ends of it with something harder, oak, whatever. I hadn't got to that point, thankfully, where I had to put too much effort into that, thinking about it. With the advent of the face on both sides, I could then build the door like a cabinet door in your kitchen, where, you know, basically you're building a face, routing or dadoing, or however you're going to make the channel to sit the panel in. The panel's usually loose in there to allow for expansion. So this is kind of the way that's being built. This will be much stronger. The door's thicker, and bearing in mind that this is one door. It's huge, and it's going to hang. So you know, you don't want it to warp or do things you don't want a big door to do. Yeah, well, this will make for stronger construction, and on such a big door, the stronger the better. It is going to cost a little bit of weight. There's some extra wood in here, but it's heavy to begin with. We pre-glued them up into smaller sizes so I could run them through the machines, but now I got 4 of these that need to be attached to each other. But before we do that, the answer to the last trivia question, which was, famous painting was painted on poplar. Well, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, he painted on poplar. Why? I have no clue. Thinking it might have been just the availability of materials. Who knows? I have no definitive answer for that. So, we have another trivia question. This one's a little bit easier and not quite as obscure, hopefully. So, what kind of wood was Christ's crucifix made out of?
And that's the trivia question for today.
That's the trivia question for today.
Leave your answers below.
And in the comment section, of course. And while you're down there, hit the like button and the subscribe button and all that good stuff. So, on to preparing to join these panels up.
And we really appreciate your participation and everything.
Yes, we do.
We look forward to working all day and coming in and checking to see what there is, or taking a break and seeing the comments.
Okay, so what I've just done is marked each of the seams where I'm going to put biscuits to join the boards with. So about every 8 inches or so there'll be a large biscuit. So next will be cutting the holes and putting the biscuits in and gluing and clamping. two of the panels, which is comprised of two smaller units. I decided to do them separate to give a greater chance of success, as opposed to gluing all four together at once. One of the problems with glue-ups is they warp, and I've managed to minimize that by taking smaller bites, and I could use some pressure perpendicular, so that's pretty much where we're at. I'll come back later and connect these two. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can see the rest of this project come together, and leave any comments.
And we really
if you've got any clamps to donate, I'm willing.
And we really appreciate you guys watching and following on our journey, and all the comments and likes and interactions. It's been a lot of fun.
And don't forget to try and guess at our little quiz we got going on for the mystery wood.
Thanks for watching.